there is a war going on against your children and your families in this community. Gang injunctions is just the tip of the spear.
When you think of a gang member, what do you think of? A brown or black person, but that's due to the media. Gang activity, crime has been going down in the last 30 years, but again, it's the media that creates this whole hype. And I hope the people of Santa Barbara could realize that it's hype and it's hurting our children. What we need to do is take that $100,000 that they're giving to the cops or what have you, and we need to create jobs. Policemen are not social workers. Policemen are not psychologists. Policemen have no business interacting as such. They need to do what they're trained to do. And we need to have our teachers teach, we need to have our social workers do social workings, and we need more counselors. We need more mental health people in our schools. This is part of the prison industrial complex. In the last, from 1990 to 2011, the U.S. has built 150 prisons. It takes $90 billion a year to support this prison industrial complex, and this gang injunction is right along there with it. Santa Barbara has no business whatsoever even proposing a gang injunction. It's ridiculous.
Santa Barbara has no need for gang injunctions. Gang injunctions are basically modern day apartheid. It's creating a prison without walls. It's turning communities into prisons. Gang injunctions only spread the problem, first of all. Secondly, Santa Barbara doesn't have the kind of so-called gang problem that would even qualify. If I seem emotional, it's because I'm tired of seeing children's lives ruined because we don't organize and stand up against it. Because they don't have a lawyer to go to court with them. Because they don't have anyone to represent them. Because they have a monolingual parent who doesn't even understand the legal system. Or they have a parent who's afraid, because of their documentation papers and whatnot, is afraid to even say anything. So they stand by quietly while their children are prisoned and turned into lifelong criminals. If you organize, you won't have to worry about cops coming into your house at 3 o'clock in the morning and taking your children out. And not even telling you why. Get back, step back. That's, hey, no, we got to stop that, and we can.
Well, good evening. I'm Dave Cash. I'm the superintendent in Santa Barbara. I'm going to start by saying right off the bat that it's very clear that the school discipline model that we currently employ does not work. And it hasn't worked for quite a while. And the evidence of it is overwhelming each and every day that I come to work and I'm on school campuses. Our frequent suspensions indicate that we have problems with our discipline policies, our discipline practices, and our discipline procedures, that we have a clear need for training for both our teachers and our administrators. We know that when we exclude students from school through suspension and/or expulsion, that the overall school environment doesn't improve. We also know that it has an extraordinarily negative impact on the individual students and their families when we exclude them from school. We know also that there's a big connection between what happens in the classroom, the quality of instruction, and how students behave in the classroom. And we know also that student behavior isn't solely the responsibility of students and their families. We know that teachers and school administrators play a key role in what happens in classrooms and how students act in classrooms. So our goal is to change the culture of our schools. And we want to change them from a discipline practice that relies on suspension and/or expulsion, which is excluding students, to ones that rely on mediation, counseling, parent-teacher conferences, and very importantly, providing an environment at schools where students are engaged and feel respected and honored from whatever neighborhood they come from. As a result of that, we are moving as a district toward a restorative justice approach to discipline. It's very clear to us that we have to provide a much more engaged, environment for our students, that our teachers must be culturally competent. I'm not here to tell you about all the great stuff we're doing, because quite frankly, we're not doing enough. And if we were, we wouldn't be sitting here.
From the slave ship to the chain, from the taskmaster's whip to my brain, kidnapped, enslaved, raped and killed by the lynch clan again and again. Is it the origin of the skin or the face of a race? Why you don't care about me?
Now I know you don't care about me.
I'm a parent and I have a few kids in the school district, and I'm going through a lot of trouble with the school system. I'm not saying all the school systems. And instead of the principals or the teachers helping the kids, they just call probation right away or police. They're not helping our kids. They're just putting more down. This kid started in the hole, and instead of helping them come out, they dig more to push them down. We need more help with our kids and the schools.
You're absolutely right. If I have people that can't wake up, roll out of bed every morning with the idea that their job is to help children, then they need to go right back to bed. We need to really look at students at what they have as opposed to measuring what they don't have.
Calling the cops and interrogating, like Babatunde said, our kids without the present or lawyer or without reading their rights, and they just targeting our kids. And I'm not saying all the schools, a few schools are doing that.
And that is wrong.
This whole gang injunction thing is just really, it's causing a lot of stress on the kids and stuff. All this getting harassed by the cops out here in Santa Barbara and all this, like, oh, where do you stay? Where are you from? Like, do you really have to ask those questions if I'm walking to school, if I'm taking the bus to school, you know? So I think this is really taking a big effect on, not only this generation, but the younger generations as well.
There's a lot of racism in this town, and I feel like that needs to be addressed. And in going to the gang injunction, I feel like it's a violation of their rights. I feel like they paid their debt to society. If they are not on probation and they are not, then we should leave them alone. If we can't kick out pedophiles out of the city, we should not be able to kick out young people who have made bad choices.
I've been released from jail now 2 years. And that really affected me a lot right there. It was something I didn't see coming my way. I've been attending City College for 4 semesters now, and I'm trying to be an underwater welder. A lot of the people on the list are either incarcerated or had their life straight. I'm on that list, so I wanted to come up here and speak a little bit about it. So that's it. Thank you.
The brother did nothing wrong, but now his life is gone. So I know you don't care about me.
We want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand. We all agree tonight, all of the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem.